at the beginning, but I'm giving the 5, I'll give you a 6, then I'll give you a 7. Those are just your time notes. So don't think I have a question. You take a breath, and whenever the Spirit moves you, we'll start this up.
I'll begin by explaining the puzzle behind me. And yes, I will assure you this is not a homophone for the FMLA format. In fact, it stands for the Family and Medical Leave Act, FMLA for short. The FMLA was a law passed in the U.S. Congress in 1993, and one of the main tenets of it is to offer paternity leave. In fact, it's the only law guaranteeing any form of paternity leave. In fact, the U.S. Department of Labor described this main tenet further as, and I quote, to entitle employees to take reasonable leave for the birth or adoption of a child, end quote. This reasonable leave is specifically defined within the bill as 12 weeks, so 3 months, of unpaid job-protected leave. Now, in order for you to better understand paternity leave in the United States, I am going to talk about the FMLA and the forms of discrimination or lack of equal protection built into the bill itself. And now that you understand our broad overall goal, I'm going to start by talking about a solved case of discrimination where up until 2 years ago, the FMLA did not offer any protection for gay male couples regarding paternity leave. In fact, it wasn't until gay marriage was passed in 2015 that this change was made. So while this is an example of the FMLA adapting to major social and cultural shifts, for a bill that was passed in 1993, that means 22 years where there was no debate. And now that you see an issue that's been somewhat resolved, let's look at one that hasn't moved anywhere in almost 25 years. The FMLA has very strict rules regulating your form of employment. In fact, the bill specifically states, and I quote, employees are eligible for leave if they have worked in the past 12 months, if they have worked 1,250 hours in those 12 months, and if they work at a location where the employer employs at least 50 or more employees within a 75-mile radius. I apologize, I'm not the one who wrote the bill, but clearly redundancy is in our government. Now, so what? How many people does this affect? Well, a 2012 technical report made by ABT Associates Incorporated for the U.S. Department of Labor regarding how many funds or where the money for the FMLA was going found that only 59% of candidates interested in paternity leave were eligible based on these guidelines for leave. Mm-hmm. So that means 41% were excluded. That's as if you take these 5 muffins and you separate 2 of them. You're just not going to have them because less than 3 bakers worked on them. They were in the oven for 2 less minutes. Or God forbid, they're more than a week old. Clearly, this change can be worked on. And now that we see a form of discrimination built specifically into the bill, a more subtle one is the fact of unpaid leave. Unpaid leave for 3 months means no income. I don't think it takes much of a statistic to elucidate that most people cannot go 3 months without money. But here's one anyway. That same technical report in 2012 from ABT Associates Incorporated for the Department of Labor found that 46% of these eligible candidates could not afford to take leave. Not even 1 week, much less 12. So, to return to our edible example, To take away 46, that's roughly 50. You take away 50. Now, that's as if saying you had to take that away because you couldn't afford the calories. Now that you're familiar with this edible confectionery, let's look at this realistically. Doesn't matter if a parent is male or female, gay or straight. A parent is going to sacrifice taking time off to ensure their child has sufficient food, water, power, and housing. This doesn't take a stat, doesn't take a photo, this is human nature. And to conclude, the FMLA is the only legislation that offers paternity leave, and while as of 2 years ago it protects gay males, it still, due to its employment restrictions, prevents a huge population from gaining aid. And the unpaid aspect prevents many candidates who are considered eligible from using the aid to its fullest, likely wasting government funds. And as a result of this, it is likely the FMLA will change once again in the coming decades. And perhaps in the future, one will look upon FMLA and think first